Do not launch a fashion brand without these things. So make sure to watch the video if you're about to launch a fashion brand, because I want to make sure that you're not launching to crickets. Welcome back to the Start Your Fashion Business channel. My name is Stephanie and I'm the host of this channel. If you want to learn about all things fashion business, then you have come to the right place. So before we dive into this video, if you're new here, I just want to share a little bit more about me. I've been in the fashion industry for over 14 plus years now. I am a sustainable brand owner, and I'm also an ethical garment producer and a fashion business coach. I've worked with 1,500 students and clients on their brand building journey, and I started this channel to be able to help you too. So if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of my videos. I drop one every week, but make sure to check out my older content too for more tips. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram threads, and I've been seeing a lot of new brand owners struggle. And honestly, it's because they most likely skipped these things I'm about to share with you today in this video. So if you're about to launch a brand, make sure to watch this video, because if you don't have these things, I want you to make sure that you do. These things are very, very important. So the first thing is that you need to have a unique selling point. Nowadays, it doesn't just cut it if you're going to launch a sustainable fashion brand, okay? You need to have a unique selling point, and this is something that your customers really need to care about. And it's better to be known for one thing first. And of course, later on, if you want to branch out to other things, that's fine too. And this is going to lead me to the second point. But before we go to the second point, I want to ask you right now, do you have a unique selling point? And if you were in an elevator and somebody asked you, oh, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, I have a fashion brand, and they're a potential investor, right? And they're like, oh my God, I'm an investor. I invest in fashion brands. What is your fashion brand? What do you sell? What is your unique selling point? Can you answer that question? Can you answer that question in 3 to 5 sentences in an elevator pitch, especially if this was a potential investor that could literally invest a lot of their funds and resources in growing your brand? Because if you can't answer that question, then I want you to go back to the drawing board, because most likely your idea is not that unique. All right, now point number two. So point number two relates to your customers. You really need to know who they are. Oftentimes, and I see this a lot, like with clients that want to work with my company, and we get them to fill up a questionnaire. And one of the questions is, what are your customers' pain points? And they don't even know, because they don't even know their customers. And of course, these are not clients that I've helped in terms of brand strategy or students that are in my program. These are clients that are, working with my manufacturing company, and they are not even able to answer that question. And that is very, very alarming, because if you don't know who you're catering to, then your marketing is not going to stick. Then you also don't know how to connect with them and create products that they really, really desire and want, right? So that's why if you're about to launch a brand, do you have a customer avatar? And most likely you have a few customer avatars, but you need to have them, okay? So again, if you don't have it and you haven't launched, it's not too late, but make sure that you go back to the drawing board too, and understand your target market, understand who it is that you're catering to. Because if you're catering to everyone, then you're catering to no one. Okay, now point number three. This is also relating to point number one and point number two, but you need to pick a niche. I see this so much in my DMs. I have brand owners DMing me on my Instagram, Start Your Fashion Business. They're asking for help. And of course, I ask them, what are your goals? And what is your brand? Tell me more about your brand. And they're like, oh, I want to launch a women's wear brand, but I also want to do kids clothing and also a bit of active wear and, potentially like dog accessories too. I mean, that's a lot of categories, okay? So, again, if you are starting a brand and you have limited funds, you don't want to do all of these different things. You really want to understand who you're catering to, understand your what makes you unique, and also pick a niche. You have to niche down. And again, it's not enough now to be like, I'm starting a sustainable fashion brand. Maybe you are starting a sustainable hijabi fashion brand, or a sustainable paddle clothing line, right? Like really, 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 really niche down. Even I'm challenging you to niche down even more than those examples that I gave you. But this will make it easier for you to, of course, target your audience and to also stand out in that market. Because imagine, like, you know, you're basically having this niche, right? And then you're niching down. And so when you are basically catering to that specific market, you're going to stand out within that niche. I hope I'm making sense there. But you definitely don't want to be broad. You don't want to be broad, because if you're broad, then you're competing with other existing brands already. And you certainly don't want to launch your brand in like multiple categories. You need to be very, very specific. So going back to that exercise of you being in an elevator, let's say you're stuck in this elevator, but there's potential investor there from Shark Tank or whoever you want to be the investor of your company. If they ask you, what is your brand about? What makes it unique, right? Who are you catering to? You need to be able to answer all of these things. So that's why it's so important to not skip these three things. And I mean, I can go on forever and ever. So if you want me to make a part two, I can, because I can talk about this for days. But for now, I want you to focus on these three things if you don't have it already. Now, if you need help figuring out what niche to do, I've actually come up with the top 50 most lucrative niches for fashion brands in 2024 and 2025. So if you're like starting a brand, or maybe you're still in the drawing board, or maybe you've already started it but you haven't launched yet, and you just want to verify whether like the idea that you have for your brand and the concept is going to be profitable, then you'll want to get this list. Trust me. So this list is free when you actually sign up to my new masterclass. So I created a new masterclass that is also free called the Profitable Fashion Brand Masterclass, where I actually share the 3-step framework so that you can actually create a profitable brand. Because creating a fashion brand is one thing, but making it profitable is a whole different ball game. And I see a lot of people struggle with that. So I dropped this new masterclass, and if you sign up, you'll get the top 50 most lucrative niches to basically start your fashion brand in either 2024 or of course 2025. This is a comprehensive list. So make sure to grab that bonus by signing up to the free masterclass, and I hope to see you there. And if you want me to do a part two, comment below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram too for daily fashion business tips.